So we're just going to get started by talking about what Scinapse is. So Scinapse is a science-oriented student club at Queen's University, and our mission is to promote undergraduate scientific research on campus by hosting competitions and events throughout the year. And this info session is particularly going to talk about the Undergraduate Science Case Competition, USCC. So what is USCC? Essentially, what USCC does is that it designs and brings applicable and real-world education and research to undergraduate students. And even though the cases themselves aren't science-based, we encourage participants from all sorts of different faculties or programs because the problem can be approached in so many different angles, such as computer science, math, social science, even a bit of engineering. So at this point in the presentation, I would really encourage you guys to use the chat, and please feel free to type out what program you guys are a part of so we can see what kind of person are interested in attending the conference this year. So with USCC, essentially you guys get a topic. And this topic in the past year has been things such as the Zika virus or fracking, and just the past year it was augmented biology. And essentially what happens is you'll join as a team, as you can see in the picture. And it's usually teams of 2 and 4. And essentially you would join here at Queen's. If you score the top 10%, you move on to the second part, which is a poster presentation, and that is done provincially, but we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the presentation. But just a little bit about the USCC history. Essentially, it started in Western about 5 years ago and now has expanded to 7 different universities, and it's a provincial-wide competition. The picture you see actually was our first year partaking in USCC, and the Queens team actually came in first place. So go Queens. And since we started 5 years ago, there has been over 200 students that partook in this competition. So it's a really great way to get involved with research and even just dipping your toe to see if you like research for the future. So why should you do it? Well, there's so many different reasons why. First, it's a great way to, again, experience and learn about research, design experiment, write proposals, and create research posters. And I really do want to emphasize that you do not need any research experience to join. We will be helping you every step of the way. Another reason to join is because you're able to think about real life issues and how you can help address them. And plus, it's a great way to network with professors, students, researchers of a variety of field and background. And as you can see, our fourth little point is that it's a great way to add to your resume that you have experience writing research proposals. So now we're just going to get into a bit about the competition process. So like I mentioned before, there's 2 parts, the case proposal and the poster presentation. And Tasha was going to start off by talking a little bit about what the case proposal is.
So I'm just going to be taking you guys through what the process would be if you were to take part in the competition, how you would prepare your case, kind of what even what's even included inside a case. So the first thing before you can even take part is that you have to register for the competition. And at the end of the slideshow, we have a link for the Scinapse website where you can register. Teams of 2 to 4 are required, as Phoebe mentioned. There's 2 divisions that you can take part in, either upper or lower, based on the year you're in. And the research topic is usually related to something that's relevant to today's society. And it's given by the Scinapse provincial team, and they'll be provided once the competition time starts. Right now, you would just be registering. And the goal of the competition is to get you guys to write a research proposal addressing this issue. And as Phoebe mentioned, the topic changes every year. Previous years, we had augmented biology, we had Zika virus one year, we've had marijuana also, so a wide array of topics. So the first thing you would do once you receive your topic is to start researching in a general sense to get a better idea of the research that's already been done regarding the field, what is missing, perhaps where you could come in, and perhaps what perspectives are prevalent in the field, and perhaps something that you can do which might kind of change the way things are being viewed. And you don't necessarily need to have experience, as we mentioned earlier. We're going to host multiple webinars to help you guys prepare and get a feel for how to address the topic. The next step would be to ideate. So you would start thinking of an approach to address the topic, something that you're interested in, focus on it with one aspect, for example, social impact or the biological impacts, or look at it from an engineering perspective. And this is up to you at the end of the day. And obviously, if you have a better idea of what's already been done, you'll be able to inform this decision better. So think of your approach as well as your experimental ideas very critically. Your subject idea will be analyzed for its real life potential and practicality when it's being judged. And think of experiments and data that are relevant to your ideas and approach, so you know kind of what's realistic if you were to make up an experiment. The next step, so before I go on, this is I have two examples of basically abstracts that were submitted in, I think, 2 years ago for when the topic was cannabis. And so this team had approached it with an agricultural kind of approach in mind. And I'll just read the title: Identifying the Repellent Genes in Cannabis Through CRISPR Screening, the Hidden Use of Marijuana. So this is an agricultural approach. And if you're interested in that, this is something you could look into. Or if you're more interested in health sciences, for example, another abstract was the use of cannabis to taper off opioid medication in opioid-dependent chronic pain patients. So either way, you'd be designing an experiment, and you can look at it from a variety of like subjects based on what your interest lies in. And if you have any questions about these abstracts, so both of the people who've done it are on the exec team, so you can stay after the meeting and you can ask questions and just get a better idea. So the next step would be to design your experiment. So a large part of the proposal will be to offer an experimental approach on how you would answer the topic or question that's been provided. As I mentioned, think of it critically. It'll be analyzed for its real life potential. Try to be original, so not something that's already been done, but perhaps based on something that's already been done, so you can still remain realistic in regard to like the technology and the tools available today. Clinical trials are not allowed as an experimental approach. If you have questions regarding this, we can also talk about this after the meeting. Next step would be to write your proposal. So the proposal is usually 1,000 words, and there's a couple of aspects involved, such as the abstract, keywords, introduction, hypothesis, approach, methods, significance and rationale, and references. More details about each of these aspects of the report are provided by the guidelines from the provincial team, which if you choose to register will be emailed or sent to you. And so something I'd like to highlight here is the keyword section. When you're being judged, oftentimes the provincial team or even us, we will look at the keywords to see like from our like list of judges who would be most suitable to maybe assess your experiment if they have like a background in that field. Again, when you're writing your experiment, write very realistically, critically, but also write as if you're writing for someone who does not have a background in the field so they can understand. Because even if the person who's judging you has like perhaps they're a biologist and you wrote something like you took a biological approach, they may not know the specific details about the experiment or what has been done in the topic that were provided, for example, like cannabis, like what are the issues involved. Continuing, so the last step, once you've decided your topic, you've presented an experiment and you've written it very well and your report is all ready to go, you'll be uploading it, submitting it. So be sure to submit by the deadline. This was also provided by the provincial team, and they're going to give you guidelines on how they want the submission to be sent to them, usually by email. And there's usually like a group code and stuff that you need to add into that email. So be sure that you have everything noted down on how you're going to submit. And try not to leave this to the last minute because they will not be accepting any late submissions, and you don't want to just waste all your hard work because you were a minute off because of an internet connection or just some sort of technical issues. So be sure to do this well in advance. And then once you've submitted, you can kind of relax until January when the results will be published. And if you're selected, you can move on to a provincial based round.
Yeah, so how would judging work? Essentially, we would find Queen's professors, graduate students to read your proposal and mark based on a standardized rubric provided by the provincial team. And then the top 10% from each division, so like Tasha mentioned, the lower and the upper division, will then move on to the provincial round, where the top 25% at the provincial round actually would be able to get their abstract published in URNCST, which is the Undergraduate Research in Natural and Clinical Science and Technology.
I wasn't sure if we mentioned this earlier, but in terms of judging, so the first round, there's going to be Queen's professors and graduate students who are going to be judging, but the second round are going to be like professors and graduate students that are selected by the provincial team. So perhaps like at U of Ottawa, Western, wherever it's being hosted.
So now we're going to move on to the poster presentation. Usually this is done at the University of Ottawa in person. Unfortunately, this year it's all moved virtually, but I know the provincial team has really made an effort to really make it as real and as the same experience as it has been in the past few years. So more detail about that will come, but like we've mentioned and emphasized throughout this presentation, no experience is necessary, and we will be there to guide you and provide you with the right resources to make your poster presentation as well. So how do you join? So you can register your team at that link, and that link, I believe Amber has sent it again in the chat. So you can register your team, and then you do have to pay a $20 per team. And once you pay that, you will get a confirmation. If, however, you do not have a team of 2 to 4, that is completely okay. Just email us or fill out the Google form, which is also in what Amber just posted in the chat, and we will match you up. So make sure you do that before the 20th of October, and then you'll be able to be all set and ready to start the competition. So these are just some important dates that we want to emphasize. Right now, October 1st, registration has begun. So you can begin registering your team, or again, letting us know if you need a teammate. And then registration will end on October 21st. So I did see a question about if you would know the topic before registration or not. Unfortunately, you will not. The topic will be released November 1st. So just keep that in mind. And between November 1st to the 22nd, which is the deadline of submitting your proposal, we will be hosting a lot of events like topic talks or help sessions. So again, please sign up for our mailing list because we'll be providing you all that kind of information through the email. And then with the poster competition, it will occur sometimes in March. Last year was March 14th. This year, they haven't decided on a date just yet, but know that you will be contacted in January, like Tashva mentioned, if you did move on to the next round.
So some other things that we do here at Scinapse, besides hosting the competition and helping out students with it, is we host two conferences, Research Uncovered, which we usually host in January, where you can learn about research opportunities for undergraduate students at Queen's, kind of how to get involved, and perhaps like applying for grants and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, be sure to like check out our Facebook page and subscribe to our mailing list. We also host another conference, Careers Uncovered, where you can learn about like a variety of career paths related in science or engineering, and you can even get an opportunity to network with industry professionals. So also keep an eye out for that, which is usually around in February or like second semester. So some more information if you want to get in touch with us. This is our email, our Instagram. We also have a website if you want to check it out. Like search us up on Facebook if you want to ever email us, or if you want to just like message one of our execs. We're always here to help, and we're always really excited to get more people into Scinapse.
So again, this is just everything again that we already sent in the chat. So if you do sign up for a mailing list, you will also be provided somewhat of a brief version of our presentation today, so you don't miss out on any of the important dates. And we're actually just going to move on to our little contest that I mentioned at the beginning. So thank you for staying until the end. Amber will now pick one of the winners, and when she announces your name, if you can stick a little longer after our presentation to so-and-so collect your prize, or you can feel free to message Amber privately and you guys can figure out a way to get your $20 gift card. So I'll just pass the mic along to Amber.
Hi. Basically, the way we're gonna do this, and I've put all the names in of the guests into an Excel sheet, and there is I have a code to pick a random name, and so I'm gonna do that, and then if the person can I just need your email. So if the person can just send me a private message in the chat with their email, then I can share the gift. We can send you the gift card through email. So give me a second. Okay, it's rolling. Okay, Carolina, you're the winner. So if you can please share your email with me in the group chat, or if you don't want the gift, then it's fine too. You can also tell us, and I can send you and I can arrange for you to receive your gift card. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber. And that actually brings us to the end of our quick little presentation. Please feel free to ask us any questions now. You can message us. Now is a really great time because almost everyone on our exec team have partaken in the competition before. So any questions you throw our way, we'll be able to help you right now. But all that to say, thank you guys so much again for coming out on Thursday evening when I know most assignments are probably due Friday, and just taking the time of your day to come and listen to us speak. And we're really excited to be working with you guys this year if you guys decide to partake in the competition.